Hi, my name is Ellie Koff, and I'm going to talk about the impact of gender on students' academic achievement. So, first, before we get started, I think it's important that we touch on what gender is defined as, understand how children learn, and look at some gender patterns in advanced classrooms. So, first, what is gender defined as? So, gender can be defined as the way an individual chooses to express themselves through feminine or masculine traits. Some examples of this could be the clothing that a student wears, their appearance, language, their speech, and certain behaviors. So, how do children learn? So, according to the social psychologist Albert Bandera, children's learning happens through observation, imitation, and modeling. So, since children are consistently learning and absorbing information from the world around them, it's safe to say that a lot of this learning would happen in a school classroom where they're spending at least 6 hours of their day. And lastly, the demographic of some advanced classrooms. So, it was found that in an AP English literature and composition course, 38% of the students in that class were males versus 62% of the class being females. In an AP Chem course, it was found that 68% of the class was males, while only 32% of the class was female. So this raises the question of how gender is a factor of success for female students in English classes and male students in STEM classes. So let's first talk about why there even is this divide. One reason could be a preference for humanities classes. So according to a study done on Finnish ninth graders, where they talked about their futures, it was found that female students have positively linked mindsets to an English course, while male students showed negatively linked mindsets to an English course and a negatively linked mindset to math courses as opposed to a negatively linked mindset to English courses. So in this study, it was found that female students were expressing more of a desire to pursue careers associated with English and literature, while male students expressed desires for pursuing math and STEM careers. It was also seen that female students felt that they identified more with English and literature classes, and they felt more confident in them, leading for them to focus more on it in school. Same thing with male students, they identified more with the math and STEM courses, felt more confident in them, and there's a higher involvement where your interests lie, so a higher focus on those math and STEM classes for male students. Another reason that there could be this divide is the student school environment. So it's important to consider the socioeconomic status of the school, the qualifications of a teacher, and the gender diversity amongst the classroom. So maybe it's an all girls or an all boys school, but a style of teaching can significantly affect a student's success in school. So in a classroom, maybe where there's more frequent quizzes and tests, it was found that female students are scoring higher on those comprehension tests as opposed to their male counterparts. And the last reason that there could be this divide is this academic self concept. An academic self concept is a student's own concept of their ability to succeed in a certain academic subject. This can kind of be related back to gender stereotypes that are introduced to children earlier on in their lives. And if a female student is being shown stereotypes of very more feminine ways, then it was kind of shown that there were higher reading scores 6 months later. And then same for male students, if they're exposed to more masculine traits and embodied a more masculine view on the world, then they had higher math scores. So it's found that these social influences and these stereotypes that are shown and put onto children earlier on in their lives are altering their perceptions of themselves and their roles to society, and then even further impacting their success in certain subjects in school. So to do some more research on this, I looked at some data for the California Assessment of Students' Performance and Progress. And this is public info. And I used the years 2017 and 2018 to gather my data because I wanted it to be before the effects of COVID. And through this, I found that 7.7% more female students met or exceeded language arts standards than their male counterparts. I also found that 55.2% of female students in grades 3 to 11 met or exceeded the language arts standard, and opposed to 47.5% of male students meeting or exceeding that same standard. And then again, we see this in math where 43% of male students are passing, while only 38% of female students are meeting or passing these standards. So the data is really showing that female students are scoring higher than their male counterparts in these certain courses and classes. Okay, so I think through this research, it can be shown that the stereotypes of men and women that are pushed onto children early on force them to perceive the world with a predisposed opinion of themselves and how they're supposed to behave and act in society. These negative perceptions of society are leading children to create standards of themselves that abide by these socially constructed norms. For education, this leads females to have a lack of confidence in their academic abilities in a STEM or math course. And for male students to want to pursue only STEM careers and feel like they cannot have a career in a humanities department. It's shown that the evidence does contribute to academic success in standardized English and math through the scores on the exams. And I think it's important to note that in the future, we can resist the urge to place children in gender categories and further push societal expectations onto them. These actions can allow children to explore what their own aspirations are and will give them the freedom to pursue careers they're passionate about. By not forcing children to think about themselves in a box of opportunity, we can bridge the gender gap in students' academic success and hopefully lead to bridging the gender gap in some jobs and opportunities beyond school classrooms in the future. Thank you.